The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement. Have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo. Feel the adventure. Shop the Symbol Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you can save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike, you know.
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar.
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
All right, welcome back to The Balance. 1 hour in the can. Matthew Embury, our official IndyCar contributor, WSBT up in South Bend, joins us to break down some IndyCar action. And we just had on Steve Wilson, editor-in-chief of Speedway Digest. I'm having just a hard time with it as he did. And joined us to talk some NASCAR. We're shifting gears a little bit now. We're going to be talking some football, but not the American football, the other kind of football, the football, otherwise known as soccer. And joining us is our soccer guru, our go-to guy. We'll call him our expert on soccer, Mr. Sean Horton. Welcome back to The Balance. How are you, sir?
I'm doing amazing, Tom. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, buddy. Absolutely.
Perfect, man. I'm doing amazing. So glad to be back, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
No, I wish I had the opportunity to talk soccer more often. Maybe we'll try to weave that in. But, there's just so many sports and so many things got to get to and blah, blah, blah. But it's Father's Day weekend, so what a better time to talk to some soccer, because soccer's gaining a lot of popularity, right underneath our noses, especially here in the States. And you can't go 2 blocks in any suburban American without seeing kids playing soccer, and it's really becoming quite what we are seeing now with kids is what we were when we were kids. We were emulating, baseball players and Michael Jordan and, those type of NFL players. Now you're seeing kids wanting to be a professional soccer player. Talk with us about the game of soccer and how the popularity of the sport has grown over the last few years.
Well, I mean, it's an overall reflection of how our world has just become more and more connected. You know, if you think of, you know, all that we were aware of that took place, in other countries and throughout the world 20 years ago versus where we are today, I mean, it's virtually night and day overall. So as far as what's been taking place, you know, outside of the continental United States for decades is now, you know, right in the hands of every small child and adult, you know, across the country. And they're seeing all the opportunity that is out there for the players, you know, to really start young and to really make something of themselves.
Well, let's talk about Team USA. Obviously, they go in and they beat Taiwan. We'll call it an ass whipping because we could call it that. Let's talk about both sides of the coin here. I'm all for, hey, go out there. If you're playing at that level and you're playing in the World Cup, by all means, if you could score 13 goals, which is almost unheard of in soccer anyway, go right ahead. Now, they got a lot of flack from other countries. Predominantly, the most notable was a Canadian news company that basically said that the Americans basically just ran up the score, over-celebrated, celebrated like they'd won the World Cup after each and every goal. They were really just rubbing it in the faces of the Taiwanese. So let's talk about Taiwan in that game overall. But I think, maybe I'm just saying this because I'm American, celebrate on. Celebrate on. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. No, absolutely celebrate on. Again, this is competition, right? You know, we win, we celebrate, we get excited. You know, what more can one expect, especially with such a great victory overall? And, I mean, start to the World Cup, you know, essentially. I mean, you know, I think when the day is said and done, you know, everybody's going to have their own opinion overall, but I like to look at the opinion of the Thailand soccer coach. You know, she was very much ecstatic and thankful for the way that our women performed and the way they behaved afterwards. What people don't want to talk about is the individual, you know, terms of endearment and consoling that took place on the field, you know, during the goals and then when the game itself was said and done. You know, the Thai, they're just thankful to be there. I mean, let's be realistic here. You know, sport can most certainly be bought to a degree. I'm not saying that's the case in the women's by any means whatsoever. But, you know, when you look at teams like Jamaica where they're having to do fundraisers just to get themselves there, do we really think the caliber of training and the positioning really puts them up to be against a team that can clearly crush anything that comes in front of them?
Well, absolutely. And so, you know, it takes a lot to get there. A lot of people don't realize the grueling schedule that you have to go through to get there. And another fun fact, just for those that are feeling bad for Taiwan, their goalie is from Georgia or lives in Georgia. So just, you know, a little fun fact there. So she's an American with dual citizenship, I believe. So anyway, yeah, I'm all for it.
Actually, Thailand.
Oh, what did I say? Taiwan?
Taiwan, man.
Oh,
right region of the world, wrong country. It's all good, though. Starts with T, right?
Starts with the T. Aren't they both Asian countries? I'm all screwed up.
That's it.
All right.
It's all good.
All right. Thank you for setting the record straight there. My apologies to Taiwan.
Hey, man, I want to keep you on point, Tom.
I appreciate it. I really do. We're talking with Sean Horton, our soccer expert, our soccer go-to. Let's talk a little bit about the makeup of the World Cup and how they go about with their brackets. I know a lot of it is strictly by luck and by the draw, but a lot of people think the World Cup goes on for a long time. In fact, it does. There's several weeks of the World Cup. So talk with us about how that's made up and how the composition of the World Cup comes together.
Well, it's not so much based off of luck, but it's based on overall performance, which doesn't tie in specifically to wins, losses. You know, one of the rationales and some that need to understand how soccer deviates from other sporting events is that numbers of goals can dictate your positioning. So the fact that the U.S. team needed to run up 13 goals, that allows them to ensure that they dominate if it comes down to a goal differential. So if we look at wins and losses, there aren't tiebreakers. It's, all right, who scored the most goals, who has the strongest overall performance. So you do see multiple series of events, or game matches, I should say, prior to the actual World Cup itself, where these teams are lined up based off their overall performance. So that's where you see teams like Thailand, ranked number 34 in the world, being up against number 1 U.S. is of the world, and then everything in between.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you.
So let me
I thought you were. No, I'm still with you. Go ahead. I thought you were still talking. I apologize. So let's talk about.
Man, I kind of stopped without warning. Good night.
That's okay. No problem. So let's talk a little bit about the Team USA. I mean, we're Americans. Let's go Team USA. What's on the schedule for Team USA? I think it's Chile that they have next, if I'm correct on that. Talk to us about the upcoming schedule of the World Cup. There's still a long ways to go for the Americans and Team USA, and they've got some tough teams to play. That's for sure, because there are some very good teams in the World Cup. So they're not there yet, but they have a heck of a start. So let's talk about what's going on with Team USA and their schedule going forward in the World Cup.
There's going to be challenges, right? In any sport, despite how great your team may be, you're always going to run into challenges, and what that may look like, none of us can tell. But, if the past and what the women have done up until this point is any reflection, again, I don't personally throw up any kind of concern. In order to get here, the U.S. women's team, that we hosted Chile 2 warm-up matches back in 2018, in the tournament, we crushed it, and we scored 3-0 and 4-0 against them. So, fast forward to today, my confidence remains the same. Yes, Chile will put up a match, because clearly it wasn't 13-0 victories against the team. But when we're looking at what we've done, I'm confident. 2015 we got it, and here in 2019 we're going to be getting another.
Well, heck yeah. Was it so? The last women's USA World Cup championship, wasn't that in like 1999? Or could I be wrong about that?
No. 2015, sir.
2015. Why do I remember? For some reason, in the back of my mind, and I thought what happened in 1999 with the Women's World Cup? Because I know there's a story in my mind where that's why that date's popping up.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Tom. I have slept since then, and I honestly don't remember. Openly admitting there's so much sport to follow that I just can't keep it all together myself. But you let me on next time. I'll look to understand a little bit more, and we can talk further. But overall, the big discrepancy from what I do recall, I think, and I forget her name, but that's where the women started taking their shirts off and sports bras were showing, and everybody was throwing a loop that, heaven forbid, too much celebration. Outside of that, there wasn't anything distinctly that I recall.
Well, let's talk about the 2019 U.S. Women's World Cup. Like you said, that's going to be the next World Cup championship. The women in the United States soccer team are looking to repeat the World Cup champions. So let's just kind of go through some of these players. You tell us what you know about them. And I had my list up here, Sean. I got things going on my computer like you wouldn't believe. Of course you do. Okay.
Of course you do.
Too much going on. Let's talk about Hope Solo. What do we know about her?
She's about it. Hope Solo, whether it be just her sheer looks or overall performance, what can you say? You have the package deal, which is basically the case with most of these women. It's just absolutely amazing. What she's doing and what she, can do for the team overall. We just look forward to continuing to see greatness out of her. I'll just be upfront honest with you, Tom. There's, again, in the following overall of the individual players and the individual teams, I may not be the fullest on point for each individual level of awesomeness for all of these women.